Okay, it is now 6:30 on December 8th. It's time for our City of Monessen Council meeting. Get our city administrator over here and he'll call the roll for us.
Councilman Orchakowski.
Here.
Councilperson Thomas.
She's walking through the door.
There she is.
Say here.
Councilman Nestor.
Present.
Councilman Greger.
Here.
Mayor Mosier.
Present. At this time, I'd like to ask Pastor Ricardo Hall to lead us in prayer.
Heavenly Father, as we come down to this city council meeting, we just want to thank you for the gathering of the people of this city that have a heart and a mind for the business of this city, for the building up of this city, for the future of this city. We pray, Heavenly Father, that as they come to carry out the business that is before them, that they have open hearts, open mind, and an open spirit. We ask that you would just take and guide, Father God, that everything that is done decent and in order, for you are a God that is not a God of confusion, but you are a God of order. I ask, Father, that if there's any uncertainty, if there's anything that people do not like, that they present it, Father God, with a heart, not of contention, but a heart, Father God, that it can come to compassion and it can come to a compromise where things can get done, that this city can be built, that the city will grow, and that you will be glorified. Let the work be done, Father God, that comes before this council, and let it be according to your will and your purpose. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 Pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'd like to ask council to review the minutes from the November 21st council meeting and make a motion to accept it when ready.
Unfortunately, Mayor, I don't think any minutes were presented in our packets at this time.
Yeah, I can't find it.
We will forgo that and we'll approve those in the next meeting. At this time, I'd like to open the floor for public comment on agenda items only.
Ernest Telegraphus, Rex Boulevard. On page 1 and 2, you have ordinance number blank. What's going on here?
The first one is 1264 and the second one is 1261.
What's the difference between the two?
Two different ordinances.
And I see you have all these new activities to demolish other properties. Where's the funds coming from?
That's all ARP funds.
All of them?
There's some, the county's doing the majority of them. There's some CDBG funds from 2021 we'll use for some of the others.
How much of those funds are left?
Of the CDBG? Depends on what the bids come out, but likely nothing.
Well, you have no CPG funds?
For 2021. We have 2022 CDBG funds that will become available in the spring.
So it's 1 year back.
Yes.
And this code enforcement, the solicitor, what are they actually going to instruct?
So the code enforcement department has to certify these for demolition that they're unfit for habitation. I have to do a title search so the city can notify all potential lien holders that the building is going to be subject to demolition hearing.
Okay, Mr. Solicitor, how many of these properties we're looking at? Just an estimate number, because there's no numbers here.
Looks like 7.
You have 7.
That the city needs to take care of for CDBG purposes. There's additional ones for the county demolition project. There's nothing the city needs to do with those at this time.
So the county has how many more designated for building, for knocking them down? You have any idea?
In the neighborhood of about 200.
That's theoretically. I mean, what do they got lined up for 2023? They have 4, 5,
No,
6?
they will demolish them as they get cleared for demolition.
That's unbelievable, 200. I was looking for something else here. I heard that you sent letters to Billy Hans and Buzzy Barron to resign. What's that about?
That never got done.
So you never gave it to them?
Right.
Are you going to?
No, I'm going to wait till we see what happens.
By whom? What happens?
What are we talking about here, Fred?
I heard that they were working on that Sean Bufa's building, and people called in, and he was supposed to, like, in order to rectify the situation, he was supposed to tell them to resign from the board that they sit on, because there was a conflict of interest.
Are they the general contractor? Or are they working for a general contractor?
Well, they approved Sean Bufa to acquire that property, and then at the same time, they're working on it. So I heard this.
Is it a conflict of interest if, maybe I should be asking the solicitor this. Is it a conflict of interest? Who's the general contractor?
I have no idea.
When I went by there, I thought I saw Mr. Wolfa. I want to silence him.
Well, he is a contractor. He is building a building of his own, yes.
Let me
He's here.
silence this, please. I apologize.
If there is a problem there, it will resolve itself as time goes on. And to be honest with you, I don't particularly want to get into discussion of this until which time it's appropriate.
Yeah, I just heard it this morning, so that
Yeah.
took me by surprise.
The city's not gonna be the entity that determines if a conflict
Oh, it
of
ain't.
interest
Okay.
exists. They don't have that legal authority.
That would have
Who
to go to
does?
an ethics board?
Yes.
That's correct.
And one more thing, I've been bringing it up for 3 months. Where's the cipher and cipher auditor?
They will be here on Monday of next week, and they will present the results of that on the 22nd meeting.
Oh, they will?
They will.
Okay. That's all.
Thank you. Is there any other comments on agenda items? If not, we'll continue. This time I'd like to ask the solicitor for his report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. I work with the mayor, the city administrator, and the city clerk regarding the employee health care plan. The city's contractually obligated to provide to their employees. On tonight's agenda, you'll see also an addendum for the intergovernmental cooperation agreement with the county land bank. This addendum just encompasses the county ARPA demolition project. It's been something that needed to be passed for a few months now. It's finally on the agenda. We've already discussed about the several demolitions that will be happening. I just worked with the mayor to make sure we had the appropriate properties on tonight's agenda. That's all I have unless there's any questions.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to our city treasurer.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, council, and citizens of Monessen. My report for the month of November. Garbage current, collection, $7,950. Year-to-date, $333,536.51. Budgeted about $370,000. Delinquent, $3,615.37. Reporting off collected $3,515.37. Year-to-date, collection on delinquent, $84,395.20. Reporting off collected $43,605.37. Also collected interest and penalties of $1,664.19. The budget amount for 2022 is $120,000. Garbage housing quarterly, year-to-date, $15,258.75. Budget amount for 2022 was $0. Total amount budgeted for garbage is $490,000. Garbage collected for 2023. This month we received $90,620. Year-to-date, $92,005. Budget amount, $147,834. City real estate taxes, revenues. Current, November, $10,825.80. Year-to-date, $2,005,038.16. 2022 budget amount as follows. General fund, $1,452,449. Debt service, $394,229. Parks, $199,052. Library, $42,135. Total of $2,087,865. Delinquent city taxes. Prior years collected by the city, nothing this quarter. This month, year-to-date, $5,502.96. Budgeted amount, $99,000. Collected by Westmoreland County Tax Claim Bureau. Nothing received this month. Year-to-date, $167,423.55. Budgeted amount, $210,000. Total collected year-to-date, $2,177,964.67. City real estate tax distribution as of November 30th, 2022. General fund received $1,515,127.80. Debt service fund received $411,241.46. Parks received $207,641.73. Library fund received $43,953.38 for a total of $2,177,964.67. Real estate transfer tax. This month, we received $5,771.46. Year-to-date, $103,097. Budget amount, $70,000. Earned income tax. This month, $62,523.58. Year-to-date, $576,420.72. Budget amount, $600,000. Mercantile tax. This month we received $792.75. Year-to-date, $23,372.21. Budgeted amount, $29,000. Local service tax. This month we received $20,101.45. Year-to-date, $73,458.77. Budget amount, $75,000. Tax certification. November, we received $1,500. Year-to-date, $23,440. Budgeted amount, $23,000. Municipal lien letters. November, $1,125. Year-to-date, $15,900. Budget amount, $16,000. Line usage account. Unsecured payments. November, $324. Year-to-date, $13,104. Line usage fee. November, $68,093.05. Year-to-date, $776,481.01 for a total amount of $789,585.01. Also, the printed 2,404 reminder notices for the 2022 delinquent taxes. The estimated income for these taxes, which we should bring in, is approximately $30,000. Mayor, that concludes my report.
Mayor, motion to accept the treasurer's report for the garbage fees, city real estate taxes collected for the month of November.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Please call the roll.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes. Let's see, our city controller is out today. We will hope she'll be in the next meeting to catch us up. At this time, I'd like to ask somebody to read some motions for me.
Is the first one 1264?
Yes.
A motion for a second reading and adoption of ordinance number 1264 regarding the appointment of Portnoy for the collection of delinquent utility bills and establishing fees.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Please call the roll.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
We'll make a motion for a second reading and adoption of ordinance number 1261 relating to the acceptance of partial fee payments for the collection of utility bill fees.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any-
Question, what utility bill fees?
Garbage.
Then why don't we just say garbage fees?
Just like to twist the terms, I guess. I couldn't answer that question. I'm not the lawyer.
What was that bill number?
1261.
1261?
Right.
And it likely says utility bill fees because that's what the ordinance says that's being repealed that prevented partial payments.
I just want to make sure the public was aware of what it was at.
Perfect. I appreciate that. Thank you. Any other questions? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Gregor?
No.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
A motion to permit the mayor to enter into an agreement on behalf of the city of Monessen, referenced as the addendum to the county land bank agreement, providing the county with the ability to work with the city to utilize ARPA funds within the city to demolish appropriate properties. The solicitor has approved the terms of this agreement. The agreement is attached to the 20 members' packets as Exhibit A.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
They can make a motion to submit demolition orders to have the following properties demolished utilizing ARPA funds for the following delineated properties. 20-02-06-0-576, known as 618 Locust. 20-02-07-0-254, known as 540 Chestnut. 20-02-06-0-587, known as 633 Summit. 20-02-03-0-295, known as the Schoonermaker Parking Garage.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions?
Question, for the parking garage, are you talking about eliminating the whole parking garage?
That happens to be the lower half that's adjacent to Donner on the bottom, this,
Okay.
on Donner.
Okay.
The top one will remain.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mayor.
It's the only one that's really been condemned. County will figure that out. Is there any other questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
Motion to begin the submission of the following properties for demolition utilizing 2021 CDBG funds currently allocated for demolition. These properties are not within the QCT that the County of Westmoreland would have the ability to implement. 20-03-03-0-052, known as 83 Pennsylvania Boulevard. 20-02-07-0-282, known as 513 Ross Straver Street. 20-02-07-0-281, known as 511 Ross Straver Street. 20-02-07-0-284, known as 519 and 521 Ross Straver Street. 20-02-07-0-285, known as 525 Ross Straver Street. 20-02-070-286, known as 527 Ross Straver Street. And 20-02-07-0-331, known as 713 Ross Straver Street.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? I'd like to point out that The QCT is the Qualified Census Tracts that the county is allowed to use their ARPA funds to demolish. And it's really wild because it comes along 3rd Street on the, I'm going to call it the southbound side. The right side is you're going up 3rd Street. And it goes along Rostraver on the left-hand side going up Rostraver. But it cuts out everything in between. And it's kind of bizarre because it makes no sense to me. There's no difference in the Blythe from one to the other, but that's the way it is. These properties are properties that fall outside of what the county can demolish. We do have some CDBG funds, and that's the purpose of this. Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
Motion to instruct the solicitor of the city of Monessen to begin the process of title search and demolition hearing proceedings where appropriate for the following properties: 20-02-03-0-052, 20-02-07-0-281, 20-02-07-0-282, 20-02-07-0-284, 20-02-07-0-285, 20-02-07-0-286, and 20-02-07-0-331.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? For anybody who's paying attention, those are the same property numbers as the address is given beforehand. Call the roll, please.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Mayor motion.
Aye.
Motion to instruct the code enforcement officer of the city of Monessen and the solicitor of the city of Monessen to initiate the process of demolition hearing proceedings to clear property at 20-02-03-0-274, known as 262 Schoonamaker Avenue, and to request County of Westmoreland demolition funds, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania funds, and additional potential sources of funding for demolition activities.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions?
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on this property.
This is my nemesis.
Pardon me?
This is my nemesis. Of all the properties that we can demolish with ARPA funds, the property that's next to the parking lot next to Crystalline Technology is not one.
The old fist bill.
Yes.
I'm just drawing a blank on it. I apologize for that.
The windows are all out.
So, who's gonna knock that down?
We got to get the money first, and that's what we're saying, is we're going to request Westmoreland County demolition funds, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania funds, and other sources to get funds to do this.
Is that building owned by someone?
Yes.
Are we gonna be able to put a lien on the property
Well,
after?
that's why I'm saying for the solicitor to initiate the process to get demolition cleared on it. Call the roll, please.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
Would like to make a motion to ratify actions taken by the mayor, city administrator, and solicitor of City of Monessen to accept the EHD recommended health insurance policy, which was required to be entered into prior to the December 1st, 2022 contractual deadline. An independent review of the policy by the city clerk of the City of Monessen indicated that the policy was not only saved the city money, but also provided a better policy with lower deductibles. The solicitor also indicated that the policy met the union contractual requirements.
Is there a second?
Mayor, can I make a clarification to that? That work that was done is done through Huntington and UPMC. So they were the ones that came up with the package along with our city clerk and myself, and reviewed by you. So
Okay.
that is a mistake there with that. EHD recommended it. It's Huntington and UPMC.
Okay.
But it did all those things that you saw.
Did we get a
Read that
second?
again?
That's what I was gonna ask. Do we need to, or just, or amend that?
Do you mean read
Yeah,
it
sure,
again? Read again?
yes.
I thought that it was actually presented to us by EHD, though.
They were in the process initially, Mayor, but then in looking at pricing, we found that with Huntington and UPMC, that was the best deal to do. So Cheryl
Okay.
indicated through her work with them, that was the best pricing and also lower deductibles. So we went with that.
Well, wait a minute, who's the contract with? Who's
Will
the
you-
contract?
It's UPMC.
We'd be UPMC, Tom.
I thought it said on the paper, EHD.
I tend to agree with you.
I think it does not say UPMC, it says EHD on the contract that was signed.
They were the group that actually set it all up.
That's the city's insurance broker.
They're a broker,
Right.
Right.
and they were the ones that provided the numbers.
Right.
But it actually goes to Huntington and UPMC,
Exactly.
So
but
this
it's
is through-
actually
This is through
EHD.
EHD.
Let's
but
leave
it's
it-
Huntington.
I think we need to leave it the way
Can we
it
leave it as
Yes.
is? Okay.
Yes.
It stays where it is.
Okay.
It's not through-
I'll second it, Mayor.
it's
Okay.
Huntington.
Any other questions concerning this? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to ratify the agreement to utilize Prime Pay as a financial instrument for the payment of health-related out-of-pocket expenses for employees and qualified retirees as contractually obligated for the city of Monessen through 2023.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
Motion to accept the resignation of Edward Lee from the Zoning and Hearing Board of the city of Monessen.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
Motion to appoint Ms. Linda Lacy to the city of Monessen Zoning and Hearing Board.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions?
Yeah. As much as I think it's a terrific appointment, because I know how, was that advertised?
Yes, it was.
That's all I need to know. Thank you.
Call the roll, please.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Mayor motion.
Yes. So, I guess it's my turn now. Discussion of items I see as current events that are going on within the city. And to be real honest with you, I've been paying attention to what goes on in the city for many, many years, the 14 years I've been here, to be more accurate. And every year, come along about this time, the city's usually in a panic state because trying to get all the bills paid, things like garbage don't get paid and so forth, so we can keep doing payroll. They're using garbage revenue in order to keep things going. All these things are pretty much the mode of operation that have been used by the city. Not this time. It actually really is pretty amazing that if you look at the funds that we have in the bank, and these are the major funds that really are ongoing for year after year after year. We have the general fund as an example. As of a few minutes ago, when I checked QuickBooks, we got $131,974 in there. The refuge account has $115,200. The art fund has $370,704. The payroll has $5,567. The debt service has $427,630, and the line usage has $576,314. If you just add up those accounts in the bank, we got $1.6 million in the bank. That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. If you compare that to what happened last year, just as an example, by this time last year, and I'm not going to say this is right, wrong, or indifferent, but this is what the books show, that they had reworked things, and I still don't know how they pulled this off, but they pulled $150,000 out of debt service and moved it into the general fund. They pulled $144,032 out of the art fund and moved it into the general fund. They pulled $209,000 out of the line usage fund and moved that into the general fund. And when it all got said and done, you add it all up, at the end of the year, they had $229,085. Compare that to the $1.6 million that we've got right now at the same time this year. That's phenomenal to me. If you look at the overall income of the city, you take all the income that we get from all different sources, and there's many sources we get, real estate tax being the primary, but there's other things that come in, and you look at all the expenses that we've done this year, you take one and subtract the other. Net profit is what they normally come. Net income, you can call it whatever you want, $561,266. Compare that to last year, negative $397,884. This city, and I'm going to say that gentleman down there that calls himself the CFO of this city, has done amazing things for this, that he has controlled the expenses. He's done things that are, I never thought he could pull it off, but he did it. We're going to end up. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't have lots of challenges facing us going forward. For one thing, it's going to be April before we start getting more money in. $131,000 is not going to get us to April. We've got to get us a TAN note. And to be honest with you, just to be real frank, we go to Community Bank because that's the bank that we need to work business with. And we sit down with the executive vice president of the bank. We say we need a TAN note. She says, "What's a TAN note?" You know you're talking to somebody that understands city business when they don't understand what a tax anticipation note is. They are pretty much wanting to have some sort of backing from DCED in order to loan us the money. Well, DCED, think about this for just a second. What happens if we can't pay the bills? What happens if we don't? We go Act 47. In the worst case, no way we're going to do that with $1.6 million in the bank, but let's just assume something happened and we couldn't pay back a TAN note. And the state came in to take us over. The first thing the state does is they take care of all our debts. The bank has big zero risk. Loaning money to a city is probably one of the safest things that a bank could do. It just blows my mind that they're treating us this way. Last year they blew us off. This year I'm of the position that they are either going to have to deliver for us or I want to change banks. I'm not at all happy with what way that we've been treated with this. And I hope they understand what I'm saying. So that said, the other thing too, and I do have some things here. If you, and I've already summarized what we're doing there. The other thing we're doing, and this really has to do with the demolition. I've got a map upstairs that has all the qualified census tract properties that the county has organized for demolition. This map is basically all the properties that have back taxes due on them, that they feel that they can move them through the judicial system and they can do demolition on these properties once they're cleared for demolition. In order to move them through the judicial system, they've allowed many years, like 2028, to accomplish this. Well, I'm no dummy. I know how the county works. They're good people and all that. But money just doesn't sit around for 6 years without getting spent. They'll find other places to spend this money. It'll just be gone. So as a result of that, I really worked with, and I really got to compliment them with both Mary Jo Smith and Lou Mavrakis have been a tremendous aid to the city in identifying this property, to help clearing this property, to contacting the owners and getting property moved over to ownership so that we can do something with it ourselves. And that will allow us to short circuit the need to go to judicial. We can shorten this timeline immensely. And I promise you, Monessen's not the only city doing this. We're competing with this money with places like Jeanette, New Kensington, Arnold. There's other places that are trying to do the same thing. So it's really, in the way that I look at it, the first one that gets to the pot of the money is going to be the one that gets to use it. The first one that clears the property is going to get the property cleared. We're doing everything we can, and I really appreciate the cooperation I'm getting from the two prior mayors. we're going to make it. It's going to work. We're going to get this happening. So pay attention in the spring, the coming months, because I think a lot of this property is going to start disappearing on us very quickly. I think that's really the only things I really had to talk about on current events, unless somebody knows something else I need to discuss, in which case we'll continue on.
Thank you, Mayor.
At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Ordenchowski and let him explain his finances.
Thanks, Mayor. City Council, Mayor, and public. Make a motion to pay the following invoices from the general fund in the amount of $92,411.03. All invoices are attached to the agenda as attachment A.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Mayor Mosher.
Yes.
Make a motion to pay the following invoices from the recreational account in the amount of $379.03. All invoices are attached to this agenda as attachment B.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Mayor Mosher.
Yes.
Motion to pay the following invoices from the Parks Fund in the amount of $2,749.84. All invoices are attached to this agenda as attachment C.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please, any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Mayor Mosher.
Aye.
Motion to pay the following invoices from the Grant Fund in the amount of $915. All invoices attached to this agenda and as attachment D.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Mayor Mosher.
Yes.
And that should say E. Motion to pay the following invoices from the line usage fund in the amount of $6,472.56. All invoices are attached to this agenda as attachment E.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Mayor Mosher.
Yes.
Motion to pay the following invoices from the American Rescue Fund, Plan Fund for the amount of $10,196.13. All invoices are attached to the agenda as attachment F.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Mayor Mosher.
Yes.
Motion to transfer $74,667.79 from the general fund to the payroll account.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Mayor Mosher.
Yes.
Motion to utilize American Rescue Funds to reimburse the general fund for purposes of lost revenue for assisting in the payment of police salaries and related expenditures in the amount of $36,248.54.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Mayor Mosher.
Yes.
Motion to transfer $2,500 from the general fund to the healthcare account.
Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilperson Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski,
Yes.
Mayor Mosher.
Yes.
And finally, the mayor mentioned on this already a couple things. Balance, fire escrow, $18,410.99. Garbage, refuse, $115,199.58. Line usage, $576,314.34. Liquid fuels, $248.84. American Rescue, $370,693.63. Parks is $8,813.37. Debt service is $425,585.73. The general fund has $120,519.99.
After the transfer tonight of $36,248.54, it will now have $156,768.53. Payroll has $5,566.67. Healthcare is $5,147.36. Police grant fund has $95,100.74. The rec board has $3,778.43. And that concludes my report, Mayor. And as promised, it looks like we're gonna be around something over 60 or 70,000, I believe, in the black after all the bills are even paid in payroll for the next pay cycle at the end of the month.
And that's a big thing, because all the bills have been paid.
And I told you all I wasn't touching the garbage. I'm going to stress that to everybody because I pounded in everybody's head and everybody looked at me and I said, we are not touching it. Guess what? We're not touching it.
Thank you. Lois, would you like to give us your report, please?
Good evening, everyone. I'm gonna hold off on my library and my street report until our next meeting on the 22nd. But just continue to keep the Altamar Hall family in prayer. Today is the viewing and tomorrow is the actual funeral. And they're just gonna need our continued prayers. Our community just needs our continued prayers.
Very much so, thank you. Councilman Nestor, would you like to give us your report?
Honorable Mayor, members of council, administrative staff, and citizens of Monessen, I would like to say also ditto to Councilwoman Thomas. I also want to bring along, because it's true, we can have a lot of thoughts and prayers, but unfortunately that will not rectify the situation that we have before us. I'm hoping by any means, it's fortunate if we can maybe somehow work with the DA or something to have maybe like a buyback program or something like that in effect to try to get some of these guns off the streets. I'm hoping maybe one day we can all, maybe one of us on council could sit together and come up with some ideas to figure out some solutions to the issues that we see present in front of us. But my heart does go out, and my condolences do go out to the family. It's going to be a rough time, especially around the holidays. But please ask for everyone's help in trying to figure out this situation. I yield the floor, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Gregor, your report, please.
Parks Department for November 2022. I'm going to give mine because it's so extensive. I'm being facetious here. My history lately, picking up the various little kindergarten karatas. I may not be here at the next meeting. Every time there's something new goes through the school district, he brings it home and gives it to me. And I'm not going to bring it down here and give it to you.
Thank you.
I thought you might appreciate that. Okay, my report's quite short. All park buildings and bathrooms are winterized, picking up leaves in the park when weather permits, and they're helping the street department as needed. I had a couple other questions. I was hoping I'd have a copy of the budget here that actually had 2023 on it.
I will get that for you.
I will, I have some comments made on that because I had received one from someone and I went through it. And there's a lot of issues on there that don't make any sense. And unless I have a copy I want to make sure I have an actual copy. So, next meeting, I'm going to be a while on that. Even though it's a rough framework.
Yeah, everybody needs to really understand that a budget is nothing other than a best guess. And to be real honest with you, who looked at the budget that I did last year?
I did.
Did you make any adjustments to it throughout the year? Did you follow the budget? Did you point out discrepancies in the budget throughout the year?
Would you like me to?
No, what I'm really saying is
I'm trying to be somewhat cooperative with this administration, so there was quite a few issues that I just kind of, okay, whatever. Now, I will have some comments on the next one because there's some gross errors in there that need to be rectified.
Well,
By any chance, the copy that the treasurer has right now, is that the 2023? Is that the 2023 copy?
Yeah.
Since we're here right now, do you want some time to look over it?
No, I wanna look through it to make sure.
Okay.
Just glancing at it doesn't.
Because if you did have any remarks that you want to change, this would probably be the time to do.
Well,
before
it's just
the-
some things that need to be pointed out.
Before the last of the meeting. So
I
then-
would like to know who compiled this.
There's
I did.
CFO.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay.
Is that a problem?
No, not a problem at all. It's just that there's a few errors in there that.
Can you
should
tell me?
correct.
I mean, I have it right here on my phone. I mean, I'm assuming that they are glaring.
Well, that's somewhat.
What-
The thing is, I don't know if what I have is what was actually adopted. I'd rather see a copy, and I need to go over it. So I'm gonna wait till the next meeting.
Okay. I was just bringing it up because this would probably be the time for us to try to amend any issues before the last of the, I mean, because
Well,
it'd
it's
be too late.
like last year when you guys took office. If there's anything that needs amended in January, you can amend it. I know one glaring thing that I can just give you off the top of my head. I don't know if it's still in there or not. There was for income from buildings, there was $190,000 that was in there. Now, what I was looking at, it's still there for next year.
No. You must be looking at a bad budget because that was not there in the 2023.
Well, that's why I want to compare.
Okay.
And that's why I don't want to make a big issue of it. I just picked that one out.
All right. I thank you for your concern.
Yeah,
I mean,
Well,
It's actually a pleasure to see somebody reviewing that budget because it is a cooperative thing. It should be a
well,
cooperative
the
thing.
last 3 years when I've gone through, no matter who did the budget, I just shake my head. Because, as you stated, it's a rough framework, but boy, is it rough.
Yeah, well,
Every year, every one I've looked at has been rough.
With this budget?
the whole point of the budget is so you can come up with the tax levy that you're doing. And that's really where the rubber hits the road because that's what you got to live with. We are maxed out at 43.11 mils, but yet we've allocated, and I don't remember the exact numbers, maybe the treasurer would have these numbers, but we allocated so many of that mills to the debt service fund, to the library, and to the parks.
I'm
And
aware of that.
those are the only four things that we can really allocate to. But that's what we got to live by. The budget is a best guess, but it's that tax levy that is what really determines what happens. You get that wrong, and things like the library don't get enough money, the parks don't get enough money, the debt service doesn't get enough money.
And just so you
I'm
know,
aware.
John, in case you don't know, when I did the budget, and we went round and around about this, and I know the mayor didn't agree with me, and some other people didn't agree with me, but I stuck with it, was that I did the budget as of what we brought in the 1st of November.
Well, that's my concern. How can you base a budget on?
Because we don't get any income in end of
Very
November,
little.
December. We get zip, almost nothing. So, well, but again, the city spends more than it brings in. I've told you guys that for years. And it's not, it has to stop, it has to stop. So what I did is I did the budget based on the numbers that were ending, that actual collected income as of November I think it was November 6th or November 7th. So, knowing full well that after the end of November and December, we get zip.
Or little, we get something, but not a lot.
It's not worth anything. I mean, I'm gonna say it's not worth anything, forgive my.
It's over $100,000.
So, the budget was based on that, to make it a lean budget. And make it so we needed to cut back in places, and there's places I did cut back on. There's some places got a little bit of an extra increase. There's also some other increases included in there, which, depending how things go, are already balanced if there's any, I wanna say raises or anything. It's already been factored and put in there.
I'm sure we'll have a conversation at the next meeting, but I need the actual, I want to make sure what someone gave me is just not,
I will make sure you have one before you leave tonight.
thank you. And also, are we ever going to put a sign down there on that white line on 3rd Street? Did we get any quotes on that? And stop here on red?
Yes.
Any idea what the ballpark figure is on that?
I don't have a ballpark yet, 'cause I haven't checked on it this week, I was out. So.
That's
I
no
will.
excuse.
I will
I
check,
expect you to be perfect.
but I will definitely check tomorrow.
Yeah,
But we have it into him. at
most
least,
people
yeah.
are honoring it, but you still have that bunch that wants to
Yes.
go down and make that right.
I agree with that.
And we haven't heard anything back from PennDOT about the sign.
We wanna
No
have that
turn on red?
meeting, we wanna have the meeting with all those different areas of town to
Did you
do
tell
that.
me when this was scheduled for? And I don't remember, or it just hasn't been scheduled yet?
It didn't get scheduled this week because of me, my issues too, so, once again,
Come on now, Buttercup, suck it up.
definitely. But I'll talk to you tomorrow, we'll have that
Okay,
also
Mike.
scheduled.
I'm not harassing you, Mike.
You're
You just,
perfect to me, my friend, you're perfect.
that concludes
Thanks.
any comments. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to open it up for, open the floor for public comment on any item you'd like.
I have a question,
Okay?
just because I like the question. I don't have the, Tom, you did a great job with what you do on your budget. But I guess my question is, who out of you guys get tied up with the, negotiating with, for the workers, the city workers, the people in his office, the police? Who sets in those meetings?
Right now, at their request, is primarily our solicitor.
No, we're basically in western Pennsylvania, we're sort of a union type people. And what I find is very disturbing, that the last administration supposedly had a budget in place with $1 raise to the city workers without paying any money out of their pocket. And also, when Mrs. McGregor retired, she was never replaced. And also, there's another person back there that is retiring very soon. And I don't know whether you guys advertise, we're gonna hire somebody.
As soon as we have
But
a
I
union
noticed,
contract.
I noticed that going back a little bit, we had 12 policemen that were sworn in and 2 policemen that were extra sworn in. And I think today, the last meeting, they said we only have 6, 2 to a shift, which is 6 cops. Okay? You could talk about it later. The city workers, at one point, they had somewhere between 13 people. And I think right now they got 4 people to maintain the same amount of roads, which I think is something like 3 miles, .1, and 2 people at City Park. Now, the last administration, had a contract in place, but never signed. Of course, he took off. But this administration, these guys gave up. They had a $1 raise coming last year, but they gave up 25 cents out of the $1 raise, which is now they wanted to get 75 cents. And they also have to pay in their insurance, which is $35 per month. Okay? And what I see is you guys keep cutting costs and balance the budget on the workers' back. That's basically what you're doing, because you basically are saving $500,000, or roughly $500,000. Now I think I came to pay my taxes here last week. One girl, the other one's retired, had to wait. City workers, 4 people cut grass. They do the snow plowing, they do the blacktop, and 2 people in the city park to do all the work. I don't think the city of Monessen shrunk in terms of what they have to get done. They just have to do more. But you people keep saying what a great job the city workers doing, what a great job the cops are doing, what a great job the city employees. Show it.
I will.
Increases. They've been paying more money for gas, for food, the last 2 years, and you guys don't want to sign a contract. Come on, give me a break, man. It's a joke.
Can I talk?
But you guys doing on their back. and that's not right. We're not in New Mexico. We're in western Pennsylvania.
I'm not going to get into the contract, but I am going to say one thing. Last year, they overspent the budget by $397,883. So they did not have money for more. This year, we up $500,000, but that's to pay off what happened last year. Last year, they borrowed from the art fund, or they didn't borrow from the art fund. They took from the art fund distribution.
What are we doing this year?
Listen to me what I'm saying. They took $209,000 out of the line usage money. That has to be paid back. That we still owe that money. They took $150,000 out of the debt service fund.
Pay the workers, you don't wanna hire anybody?
I don't want to go broke. When I took off,
Hire the cops? Somewhere along the line.
well, that's not just, we're not going to go anymore.
$150,000 from debt service, wasn't that because there was overpayment to the debt service fund?
Not that I can see, and it wasn't
Well,
documented as
From my
such.
understanding is when we moved that money, when that money was moved out of debt service back to the general fund, it was because it was overpaid to that.
It's
And as
possible.
far as us being in the hole, when I came into office in 2020, January 6th, there was $657,000 worth of unpaid bills that we made up. So yeah, you're doing it better.
We're doing much better.
But a lot of that is because of what we did to pay off the bills, instead of just carrying them forward. We didn't leave you, yeah, there was some money that was taken and moved that I felt was wrong, and that needs to be paid back. But you also are discounting the $567,000 we repaid, the $657,000 we repaid for bills that were left.
The only thing I can really say is, right now, we're going to end up this year in good shape, and that is fantastic. We're
You're
not going,
welcome, because it's a lot of the work that went before.
well,
Also,
Perhaps.
too, what really helped is when Councilman Orchakowski and the council at the time, they raised the tax rate. That extra revenue made a huge difference. And do I want to see tax rates and go up? No, he did what he had to do. I'm actually saying he did something right. Mark it on your calendar, Tony.
Okay.
But it's not just what happened last year or the year before or the year before that. It's been a cumulative effect.
and we're trying to turn it around, and we're doing a good job of it.
Sign a contract. Give them the raise.
And that's another thing. You talk about the city workers. They've cut, just this year, they've cut costs because there's 3 people who have left. My wife retired. Tamika Arnold hasn't been replaced. Mark Kravitz is leaving. Yeah, he's done. He's gone. Now you're looking at 4, 6 people plowing the roads. You're not going to get them cleared like you did before. You don't have the manpower, or people power, I should say. You don't have the employees to do what they did before.
Which it tells me that sooner or later you're gonna have to hire and increase the taxes. I think the
You-
people in Monessen about our taxes are not going up. They're gonna go up.
They
They
can't.
can't. They can't.
They can't.
They can't.
You
No,
have
they
to
can't
raise
go
the
up.
taxes, you have to petition the court.
To replace and to cover this whole territory.
Yeah, but you understand, Pino, right now they're maxed out. There's a little margin in there, I think.
No.
A tenth of a mil.
A tenth of
A
a mil.
hundredth of a mil.
So you were wrong, I was correct. But a tenth of a mil, that's all you can go up, Pino,
Hundredth of a mil,
unless
yeah.
you go,
You're at 29.99.
yeah, unless you go to the courts, or you go Act 47. Act 47, that's gonna mean your taxes are gonna go up.
City of Pittsburgh did it for 10 years and we got out of it.
Yeah, we can do the same thing.
I don't think we should balance the budget on our workers' back.
Unfortunately, that's how it's been going.
It's wrong. We're in Western Pennsylvania, we're a union town.
Pano, seriously, once the contract is done, our goal is to replace at least Mark, the one that left, And,
I can't hear you.
I said, once the contract is signed, our intention is to replace Mark as soon as that contract is signed. We're not gonna leave that spot empty, because we know they're already short with Mark.
But it's been 1 year and there hasn't been no move, so that counts for something. You either guys don't wanna move, or you guys are interested in balance the budget on somebody else's back, period. I understand how it works, trust me, I do understand how it works.
Okay.
Trust me, I didn't do that in the budget.
Well, all I can tell you is if you don't sit and negotiate, you're always gonna balance the budget.
I'm sorry?
If you don't sit and negotiate with the workers and hire more people to come in, you're always gonna balance the budget.
There's provisions.
That's real simple. I mean, now, I remember you saying once, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, you told calligraphic, I don't know where you went to school at. Well, I went to school in Monessen. My teachers were pretty sharp, and they knew their math, and so do I.
Again, it's allocated in the budget.
It was allocated in last year's budget.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it
Because if
was.
would you like me to prove it to you in, right here? I'll be happy to prove to you that the dollar increase that he was speaking of, that the last not last administration, it was the prior administration, all right? Did not make any increases to allocate for the dollar raise. It was the exacts from 2021 to
I'd have to look back at
2022.
it. I have the budgets, I'll look back.
You want me to give it to you? No, I don't have to
No,
wait
no,
for a budget.
no,
I'll show you right
no,
now.
Tony. I wanna look at the budgets. I'll look at them. I can do that. I don't need you to feed me information. I can look at it.
But it's in black and white.
Yeah, I'll look at it in black and white.
Hey, Tom, can I say something in your defense? This thing just happened overnight, but it's gotta stop overnight.
I
Because
thought
we're gonna
that's
go
what.
deeper in the hole. It's happening through a whole bunch of administration. So now that I voted for one mayor, now I got 3 mayors. So what I said at the beginning is pretty damn true. If you don't know the city and you don't know the people, then you gotta bring people in to perhaps know some of the people. So that's what they did. So they could BS all you want to, but at the end of the day, Tom, I know it didn't happen all on your part. It's happened over.
Okay.
Linda Lacy, 1624 Maple Avenue.
Congratulations.
I would like to thank the mayor and city council for appointing me to the zoning board. I really appreciate that. And I'm gonna do my darnest
Good.
to dot the i's and cross the t's.
Perfect.
Okay, and then I want to thank Nestor and Ms. Thomas for mentioning about the gun violence in Monessen. What I thought would have been more appropriate, though, if we had a press conference about the gun violence in Monessen, because it hit home. And I mean, it hit home. It was literally in my front yard. So, I'm glad to see that the NAACP is here. There's a big meeting in McKeesport to address the gun violence that's in the McKeesport and the Mon Valley, and I hope it keeps up. Okay, and now, the other thing is, how many parking spaces are we going to lose by tearing down our parking garage?
None, because they've been condemned for several years. They were not usable.
But when they were usable, how many spaces were in there?
I don't know, but they were not been
Probably
usable for
about
years.
40. So what happens when we come together and rebuild our downtown? Where are these people going to park?
We'll have to build parking.
Well, would it cost less to renovate the parking garage?
Last
Or would
estimate
it
we had,
cost
Linda,
more?
was it would cost more to renovate. than
It
tear
would
it
cost
down.
more to
The-
renovate
the-
it than to build a new
Yes.
one? Okay.
By far.
I'm fine with that. The other issue is that you are tearing down all these properties on Ross Draver and Pennsylvania Avenue, and you're using CDBG money.
Mhm.
Now, I don't know how long that blight has been on Ross Draver, but we're working on 9th Street Park. You got that part of the Knox down from where the Elks is to where Bar 20 was, which is empty. The church is still there. Why don't you tear those houses down?
They will. That's part of the ARP funds.
Well, yeah, but that wasn't on this agenda.
That's because
And I
that's a
think
county,
that-
that's a county project.
Well, I think that should have been torn down first before Ross Draver.
As soon as they can get the property cleared, they will demolish it. It has to be cleared. They have to have ownership. You have to have permission. You can't just knock down a piece of property because you don't
Are you
like
telling me all these properties that are on Ross Draver and everything has already been cleared?
it. No, the motion was to instruct the solicitor to clear this property, to
Okay.
notify, it'll take a period of time.
So, with the county demolition project, there's 2 qualified census tracts. That's set by the federal government, meaning there's 2 areas in town where these blighted properties are located that the ARP monies can be used for. That's, the houses along 9th Street Park are within that census tract. They have delinquent taxes. They'll be acquired by the county land bank through the judicial sales, and they will take care of the demolitions. These properties that were identified for CDBG funds, the entire town is covered by CDBG now, right?
Well, when did that change? Because I thought the CDBG money was just for Westgate area.
I think it's more than that now, just based on the income
Well-
levels of the entirety of the city.
I like to see when it shifted.
It's been that way for quite a while.
So,
About 4 or 5 years ago.
Because I
Yeah.
think that's how they got what we looked done.
Exactly, exactly.
That was about 4 or 5 years ago. We
Yeah, but
became
see-
a financially distressed, excuse me, we became a financially distressed community citywide.
Okay, I understand that, but we have been getting CDBG money for a long time. And none of it was used at that time designated for Westgate. And that's why that section of town looks so terrible, because it wasn't being used where it was supposed to be used at. Now, when I came back here in 2009, then that's when I found out about the CGBD money, because I didn't know about it. And then when I found out about it, it still wasn't being appropriately used for our part of town. And we shouldn't have potholes. We shouldn't have those blighted properties. Not only is it on Knox, it's on 10th Street also. Now, if you go further up to Knox to where, I think there's like 4 houses on Knox going up towards where the school used to be, Knox and 6th Street. Those need to come down too.
I agree, and they likely will.
But I said those should have come down first before we hopped over to Ross Draver.
Well,
That's all I'm
it's 2
saying.
different sources of funding, and the funding can work in different places. That the county can do with their ARP funds is limited to the 2 census tracts. And that includes the majority of the areas that you just mentioned. So we're gonna let them do those properties. That will take some time because they have to go through the process of getting them cleared through judicial and so forth. And that's part of the reason why I've been trying to work with the mayors in order to speed that up. The other property on Ross Draver is outside of that QCT. They cannot touch that property. That is outside of the zone that they can work with. But yet we have CDBG funds that can work there. And that's the reason why that we're doing that.
Yeah, but
Oh, one last thing.
Uh-huh.
CDBG funds, I agree with you. They've been here for many years, longer than I've been here for sure. The bottom line is, they always allocate so much for demolition, so much for roads, so much for social services and so forth. It's different classifications. For reasons that make sense to some degree, about 8 or 9 years ago, the county gave to the city some 200, more than that, some 300 properties that had blighted structures on them. And for the last 8, 10, 12 years, whenever they gave that, when they used CDBG money, it was to demolish those properties because they were on city property, they was easy to demolish. And right now, there is about 300 vacant lots throughout town that belong to the city. And that's because they use CDBG funds to do it. That's the reason why we need Nehemiah Project. We need people with a vision, side lot programs, and so forth.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying, that those properties up on Knox by 9th Street Park, they've been in disarray for the past 20 years.
But they belong to somebody.
Well, why couldn't you do what you're doing now?
Well, and we could, but in the past, the property the first year is that you don't pay taxes is delinquent. The second year, it goes up for tax sale. And then if it doesn't sell in the tax sale, it goes into what they call an unsold category. And it'll sit in the unsold category for an indefinite period of time, until which time is the judicial system comes and says, we will clear this property. In the past, up until this year, they would clear 50 properties countywide. So of all the properties we have here, we would only get a couple of them cleared through the judicial system. Most of them were being cleared in Jeanette and other places. We only got a small part of them. Starting with the SR program, the commissioners, through their foresight, and I really have to say they did an excellent job with this, they went to the Court of Common Pleas, the President of Common Pleas, they negotiated a deal such that the courts will have not one sale per year that does 50 properties, they'll have 4 sales per year. Each sale will include as many as 150 properties. So now all of a sudden going from 50 properties to maybe 600 properties is a huge difference. Now all of a sudden we can clear whole swaths of a town. And that's what this map that I have that they're working on will do.
Okay. And the other thing is that when they start doing that sewer project on 9th Street, since they're not gonna come down the main part of 9th Street, they're going to go on the upper hill part down by where Wayman sits in the corner, they're coming down that way.
I believe that's correct.
So when are we gonna get our regular 9th Street back? With the, where we can go up and down 9th Street, moving those big boulders and things,
I need to,
and that traffic light.
yeah, that would be a question for our engineer, and I'd have to get his update on it. I do know that there was something that caused them to slow down on that particular part of the project. That should have been done by now, and I'm not sure what it is, the hang-up, but something's going on there.
Weren't they originally supposed to start
Yeah,
in October?
it should have been done by now. I don't,
So those little white tubes up there on 9th Street are gonna be there for a minute?
Until they finish their work, then it'll be gone.
So they're gonna be there for a minute?
I don't know what that, how long that minute is, but they're there now, yes.
All right, that's all.
Thank you. Alan?
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Alan Duncan, Senior, President of Monongahela Valley NAACP Unit 2274. And I come here as Linda spoke. Congratulations, by the way, on your appointment. She was Secretary of Unit 2274, a very efficient young lady. You know, appreciate your work when you were there, you know, as a secretary. Lois, you know I love you. But seriously, August 27th of this year, Captain Steve Driscoll of Pennsylvania State Police, Commander Dale Brown of Bell Vernon Barracks State Police, Monessen School District, and the NAACP came together with what we called building and rebuilding relationships. As a matter of fact, Mayor Moser was there as well. We held it at the Monessen High School, and we also agreed that it's going to be an ongoing project. The second part is starting Monday. It's, again, the school allowed us to, we have a contract. They made us sign, well, the state police signed a contract with the school. So it's gonna be an ongoing thing. The recent violence was everywhere, but like Linda said, also it hit home. You know, our condolences to that family as well. But as you also said, Linda, Monday in McKeesport, the NAACP of McKeesport is having Stop the Violence, Gun Violence, from 5:30 to 8:30 at the McKeesport School. Now, we started August 27th of this year, and you should have seen the law enforcement that was there. Every police chief was there, Monessen, Monongahela, Bell Vernon, and there was quite a few state police officers were there. It's gonna be an ongoing thing, as I said earlier. We had I don't know if you were there, in St. Paul Church, when George Simmons was president. They had a what to do when stopped by the police. We also, I want you to know, we have now, well, we've always had them, but it was a little raggedy, representatives for each school districts. We sent out a letter, and we did get a reply. We have a representative to go to the school board meetings or to be the liaison between NAACP and that school district. No one knows the exact cause of the violence or exactly how to stop it. But sitting doing nothing, you know, is just as bad. So there are many, what the Teresa Say
Yes.
and Reverend Holmes, I believe Darla Holmes, Reverend Holmes' wife, and Julian is here at the center. I believe the city has a youth program too. We had discussed about that. What I'm asking, thank you for all you do, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you for the work City Council has done and doing. But we started, as I said, October 27th, and we're working on a finishing job for this upcoming meeting. You know, trying to be proactive instead of reactive, and it'll be starting on Monday. Invitations will be sent out, asking everybody who can make it come out, give their ideas, their thoughts on what we can do together to deter some of this.
I think that Mr. Nestor had a very great idea. If we somehow can do the buyback gun thing,
Buyback gun?
is that what you said?
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, this is something too that we'll probably have to work with like the district attorney's office to find funding. Unfortunately, Chief's not here, but other communities have been doing it now too, where
I know
they,
Cleveland does it every year.
yeah. And
I've heard of it, seen that on
yeah, and I think
TV
it's something
even,
that
buyback.
Monessen should start doing, because the more of the silent we are, the more compliant we are, and I don't think,
I think that Mr. Nestor should go to
Well, like I said, that's all welcome. Whatever it takes to, I mean, this young man was what, 16? You know, he's gone forever, like, you know. But,
I know one place ran out of money, they did it this summer, they ran out of money to pay them for the guns, so I don't know how much is allocated
yeah,
to
that's
that.
something we'll have to look into.
well, I belong to another organization, and those who come up with ideas like that usually cheer them. What?
And by the way, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn. Do you still have your scholarship program for officers that are interested in entering service?
Yes,
That's something that's I really commend you with.
thank you. Thank
That's
you.
a fantastic program where he offers scholarship opportunities for young people.
Chief Mandarino and Chief Jim.
Mhm.
I believe Jim told me he was one of the trainers up at California University. And Mando was the trainer up at Westmoreland County Community College. And they broke it down to us how much it costs for the whole program. And we were asking about a third before they start, a third halfway through, and a third when they finish. At that time, he said it was okay. But we haven't started up, we want to, the qualifications to earn that. You know, still working on that. Any idea, please give them to us.
I guess the point I was really making is you take a very active role, and I really commend you for all that you do. You're doing a marvelous job.
Thank you. That gentleman, he told me he was doing this when coming. Would you plan to stand, please?
Can I say something?
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Evening.
Good evening.
One of the things that we've gone over with the NAACP is, you know, in honor, and just looking at the gun violence that has happened. I've grown up in inner cities, Boston, Massachusetts, and Columbia, South Carolina, the big inner cities. And one of the things that we have pledged ourselves to do, we're going to start a resolution in 2023, where the 53rd day of every year, we're going to dedicate to end gun violence. We're going to dedicate that one day a year to end gun violence for all the families that are tied up into this, to help the community to try to heal. One of the questions I did hear was, you know, how do we do this? And one of the greatest things that we can do is to come together. You know, to come together, and sometimes you have to mourn with somebody. You have to cry with somebody. You have to sit with someone. You have to hear them. We can do a lot of things, you know, sending people away and putting a bunch of money here or there, but actually sitting with someone who's lost. And it's not just about that day. 6 months down the road, years down the road, where I believe in the city of Monessen. I've been here for 3 years. I coached up at the high school, track and field up at the high school. We bought a house here, raising my children here. And one of the greatest things that I think can happen here is if we come together as a community, and this is what we put together. We dedicated to fight the gun violence in Monessen and the Mon Valley communities. On that day, we'll honor all lost lives, unnecessarily to gun violence. We send our condolences and prayers of healing and care and comfort to families that are affected in the senseless act of gun violence. And one of these things that we can do is when we do come together with the buyback gun program. We can come together, you know, we can get some people to come together and donate money for that. We don't have to we don't have to get something from outside. If we start on the inside of this community, we can, you know, there's enough good in this community that can take care of what's going wrong. There's a lot going wrong. You know, starting with the school systems, all the way down to the families. One of the things that my family's participated in, my wife and my children go to the family center, where you know we're learning how to be a family. I work 60, 70 hours a week. I drive 2 hours a day to go to work. So most of my time is spent on the road. So when I come home to raise my children. And one of the things that the gentleman said about, there's a lot of people leaving Monessen going to work. They're leaving because there's not enough money here. That's another thing we can take a look at. Try to rebuild the city from the inside out. You know, so that's what we're dedicated to. And as I come in this year with the NAACP, with the help of the city and with the help of the council, well, I'm dedicated to put my foot to the ground. Period. Action. You know me. I'm ready to go. But one thing we can't do is talk about it. One thing we can't do is wait for a meeting and wait for votes. While we're waiting for a meeting, we're waiting for votes, people are dying. People are losing their homes because they can't pay money. You know, fathers are leaving the city to go to work in Pittsburgh, go to work in Washington. You know, some of the contracts that are being dealt out here can be dealt out locally. Even some of these jobs can be turned into the city so the city can make revenue from that.
Sign a contract for the city of Monessen.
You know, but one of the things that we want to do as an NAACP is to join with the city to make a difference.
And also, speaking of gun violence, and Lois is my sister-in-law, married to her sister. My daughter-in-law was murdered on Christmas Eve. You know, it was a while ago in 1993, Christmas Eve. I don't know how many of you remember Henry Smith, the boxer, over in North Charleroi, and Michael Moore, the boxer. They were related, but it was my daughter-in-law, and she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know, she had went down to visit some friends from school who lived in Wilkinsburg. They were in the car on the way back, and back then gangs were very prevalent. North Side, it was Gangster Crips and another gang from, she got caught in the crossfire. They were shooting at each other, and she was in the backseat of the car, and she got hit. You know, and she was murdered, you know, way back in 1993. You know, so it's gotten more, well, you know how it is, y'all. We gotta come up with something,
Absolutely.
you know. But thanks for your time.
No, thank
Also,
you, everyone. Thank you.
If you need us for anything, me personally, or Reverend Silver, Pastor Silver, he's the incoming president. We had elections recently, you know. I'm still waiting. I'm not going anywhere. But that's our president-elect, Reverend Kenneth Silver. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
God bless you all.
You know, when everyone thinks alike, no one thinks very much. I learned that in Philosophy 101. The problem is, and everybody is excluding it, is there's drug problem, okay? And I talked to a lot of officials and people on the street, not just here, McKeesport, Pittsburgh, even Philadelphia. 80% of these shootings is over drug turf, okay? They don't say, oh, here's a gun, I'm gonna go out and shoot people. The gun is not the problem. The problem is, first, the economy sucks. It's been going downhill since 2001, tremendously, because we outshift all our production to China, India, Mexico, okay? So then the people growing up, they got no future to look forward to. So what happens? The druggies come in. Here, space out. So then there's entrepreneurs that want to make money out of this. So then you get these drug people shooting each other to claim a turf. This is the problem. And just coming together singing Kumbaya ain't gonna do it. The problem is economics, and then it's the drugs. And we're the police on the drugs. Maybe once in a while there'll be a drug bust, and that was by accident. They stopped somebody on Route 70 or something. So the problem is people are zoning out because there's no future. Okay? And because of that, it will fuel all this violence. And we're going to see more violence in 2023 because the economy keeps going down, down, and down. And when you turn on the news, Pravda is a line press of the USSR. We got the same thing with our media. They keep saying, well, we added all these jobs this month, and we're holding on to recession. We're still not in recession. What are they talking about? You know, and I know everybody's hurting. And if that ain't a recession, I don't know what is. So we keep... Yeah. That's another thing. Now, you guys so far are trying to balance the budget, but he has a point there. You guys are like 4 or 5 employees short. How's that going to impact 2023 as far as executing the duties and obligations of taxpayers paying the city? How's that going to impact? So we're going to just take it month by month and see what happens. And what happens if one of these people, which I'm not going to say who, if the burden is too much on them because they're doing the job of 2, 3 employees, they may quit. Now where we're at.
Excuse me. Well, so we were asking for a solution. What do you think would help?
Okay, solution is, I've been telling them for 8 years, not just this administration. Where's this Chamber of Commerce? Nobody's trying to bring industry into the city. You know what they're playing? They're playing how much government funds we could get. And then with government funds, we're going to try to pay off all the problems. It doesn't work that way. You could have all the harmony, but if the shit's on the wall and the economy is down and the escape is and people are zoning out, they go to drugs. And this is where the problem's coming from. And nobody's addressing those. I know.
I just wanna say something. I need just to look up the definition of Chamber of Commerce.
I've been at it for 3 administrations, and everybody like says there's nothing we can do about it.
It's an independent organization. Make it happen.
Well,
You're
you're supposed to be an independent organization voted by the public. And you have the power of legislation. You have the power of creating ordinances.
But we
Nobody's
do-
doing nothing.
We do not have the power to create a chamber of commerce. That is something that just has to be done.
Okay, if somebody else establishes a chamber of commerce,
Then
would
go
you-
for it.
Yeah, but would you endorse it?
I don't have to endorse it. It's businesses that have to endorse it. Businesses have to pay
Yeah, but
dues.
you have to recognize it.
I'm confused because I thought we were starting a new chamber.
Me too. Me too. I thought one was happening. It just doesn't seem to happen. It's been the same thing, same story forever.
Well, we need to dissolve the old one and start a new one.
Go for it. Go for it.
Dissolve the old one. but
The old one's already
the
dissolved.
old- You need to get people to join.
Right. That's the whole secret.
Join the old one, so then get fresh blood in there, and then the people can start.
Mr. Bowman wouldn't let people join.
He has to have a reason not to. I would like to see him deny you joining.
He's
Well,
missing in action all the time. He's missing in action.
I would like to see that happen, and knowing how vocal you are, how determined you can be.
Okay, so I just want to wrap this up.
Last time I checked, yes.
Yeah. Um,
That's what I paid.
Okay, can we get you, council members now, on December 22nd, our last meeting of the year? What is Tony going to present? Is he going to present a 2023 budget?
It's already been presented.
No, I mean with the corrections that Mr. Greger said.
I presented the budget already. It's to be reviewed.
There's no flaws, no corrections?
Not unless somebody finds them. Maybe,
Don
maybe
says he got a couple.
then
I
he's,
need to see one that's.
I'll get him
current.
one here in a few minutes.
I need to see one that's current,
Eh,
compare what I have.
And when Cypher comes in, the auditors, what are they going to do that will correct or help the city?
The only thing that we can get from Cipher and the only goal that we've got them on the key for, is to look at all the money we've been spending could be attributed to the line usage account, and to reduce that $400,000 that they say we got to pay back.
And now you're going to do that?
By showing them all the time cards from all of our workers, all those
Yeah,
times
but
they
where's
ran
that
through.
money going to come? Are you going to pay back? Where's it coming from?
From tax dollars.
How? Whenever you're telling me.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the problem.
If they find that $300 and some thousand that had been taken out of line usage and spent supposedly inappropriately elsewhere was spent appropriately, we don't have to pay that money back to line usage. So that wipes out part of that needs to be repaid. And hopefully they're gonna come up with a significant number.
Well, we'll know on the 22nd. Is that correct?
I
ma'am?
sure hope so.
Okay. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Mayor, motion to adjourn tonight's meeting, December 8th at 8:03 PM.
Could I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.